What's up guys, my name is Laura. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about finding cool spots to do photo shoots in. And this is formerly known as location scouting if you didn't know. It's so important that sometimes people's full-time job is just to scout locations for photo shoots, for film sets and other things like that. I really can't overstate how important location scouting is, obviously depending on the exact type of photo shoot that you're doing, but location scouting can absolutely make or break a photo shoot. If you're doing something like headshots of someone where it's a close crop of their shoulders and their head, obviously it's not going to be quite as important, but for certain types of photo shoots, for example, if you're doing a lifestyle shoot, it is literally going to make or break your shoot. So I highly recommend watching the rest of this video, duh. By the way, if you guys are not already subscribed, go ahead and hit subscribe, like this video. I really would appreciate your support if you appreciate my content. So let's talk about the few different ways that I find locations, and then I'm also going to go over how to organize them. So the first place that I always go, and this one's an obvious one, right, is social media. So I usually take a little look on Instagram. You can use the location or the hashtag option to just type in the name of the city or the town or even the region that you're going to and see what pops up. So you can see over here, I'm looking first by location, and then I'm looking by hashtag. I'm seeing a couple different options that I like, and I'm just going to click the little bookmark icon and save it to a collection, and then I'll show you guys later how I go and organize all of my collections and use them for inspo. One thing to note here under social media, as a general rule of thumb, I know that most people use Instagram to kind of look up fun locations or kind of get travel inspo, but TikTok and or YouTube or any video platform, I would also recommend supplementing with that. The reason being is you can only see so much in a photo, right? Just because it's a static image. So I also like to go to TikTok or YouTube or both and just kind of see like some actual videos of the place to see what it really looks like when it comes to life in a video. And it also has all of these tips on it for people that are visiting White Sands. So that's super helpful as well. So the second thing that I'm going to recommend is to walk around the area that you're in, if possible, and or to be a tourist in your own city. So I know that when we are sort of in our own area, we kind of just get a little jaded and we're not looking around as much, we're driving everywhere, etc. If you really hit the streets and keep your eyes peeled, you can find some absolutely amazing spots. What I want you guys to remember is that every Instagram location that you guys see was just like some random area in someone's city that no one thought was cool until it was all over Instagram. So for example, when I went to Australia, I was in the cab on the way to our hotel with my sister, and I happened to not be looking down at my phone for once in my life. I know, pretty crazy. And I saw this beautiful creek. It was like going into the ocean, and then there was this like crazy river that was going underneath the cab that we were in. And I said to my sister, like, we should go check it out. Well, I'm gonna put up some footage that I ended up capturing from here. I did not find this anywhere on social media. I did a lot of research on the area and I did not see this anywhere. And this is literally some of my favorite drone footage from the 3 weeks that I spent in Australia. So definitely remember to keep your eyes peeled, walk around or bike around instead of just kind of like being a passenger in a car and not really keeping your eyes open. And you can do the same thing in your own town. Okay, there's like tons of cool stuff all over the place, and you just have to kind of keep your eyes open and think about what could look cool and be creative on a daily basis. So the next thing that I want to recommend is photo blogs. I don't think that you're going to find anything like groundbreaking on photo blogs necessarily, but the reason that they are helpful is because it is advice from other photographers who have shot in the area. So if you are looking to take obviously cool pictures at your photo shoot, it's helpful to just do a little research on the photo blogs and see what the photographers say. Like, did they bring a certain kind of lens? Did a certain kind of technique work well for them? And some of them will even have even more advanced information. Like, for example, before I went to White Sands, I found a photo blog where the photographer actually put a map up and he showed where the areas that were good to find yucca plants, areas that were good to go to for higher dunes and bigger dunes, etc. So that is obviously a resource as well. The next thing that I'm going to recommend, and this one is specifically mostly for my droners out there, but Google Earth is so awesome for location scouting, okay? So I'll put a little example up on the screen now. This is a screenshot of Google Earth in the Whitsunday Islands, and obviously Whitehaven Beach, if you haven't heard of it, it is one of the most famous spots in all of the Whitsunday Islands. It is just absolutely beautiful when the tide goes out. The beaches are so pristine, and they create all of these little tide pools and sandbars that are just absolutely gorgeous to see and to take pictures of. But let's say you're going to an area that maybe it's not as well established in, you know, as far as the tourism goes, etc. Google Earth can be an amazing way to kind of like take a peek from the aerial side of things and just see what's out there. Like, where are the beaches? Do we see any cool coves? Do we see any forests or mountains, etc. That might look cool? So that's pretty much it for what I do to find cool locations, but I also want to give you guys a couple of really, really great tips, one of them especially, on how to organize your photo locations. Because let's be honest, you know, we're all on Instagram and on social media all day long, and you see all these cool places that you want to go to, and how do you keep track of them all? Like, how do you organize them and find them later? So I have a couple different ways that I do it. Yes, I'm a bit of an organization freak and a little bit crazy, but the first thing that I'll show you is just your standard Google Sheets. Okay, I save all the destinations that I want to travel to in this Google Sheets, and I share it with my friends. And bonus points for on past trips, I make little tabs at the bottom, and I'll save my itineraries on there, so you can see some recent ones that I went on. This one to New Zealand, and then you can like share your itineraries with anyone, or just reference back individual places that you went, etc. So that's really helpful. So the next way that I organize different locations and destinations that I want to go to is hands down my favorite. It's within the Google Maps app on your phone, and you can see if I come over here to saved and scroll down, I have a ton of different lists saved in here for different areas or general destinations that I want to go to. Now I use this a lot for travel destinations just because I like to do travel and landscape photography, but you can even do this within your own city. Like, for example, if you live in LA, you can cluster a bunch of little mini locations in the downtown area. Then you could add another list for Laguna Beach and Huntington Beach area, and then you could add another mini list for the Malibu area, right? So let's go into my Central Florida list, which I made recently. There's a lot of freshwater springs there. And if you just swipe down, you can see that I have a bunch of different freshwater springs that are all saved on this map. And the really cool thing about this is you can share this with anyone as a live map. So I'm gonna go ahead and click share, and then I can literally message it, email it, you name it, to anyone. So if anyone wants to go to Central Florida to see the freshwater springs, by the way, I have everything planned out for you. And so this is how you would add destinations to a current list that you have. Just go to the search bar, let's type in Crystal Springs. You can see that I already had this saved, but if I didn't, then I would just hit the save button at the bottom. Then I would select the list that I wanted to add it to and click done. Now, if this wasn't already a list that I had created, you can just click new list at the top, name your list, and then I would choose public so that I could share it with other people, and then hit create, and you're good to go. So that's a really, really handy tip for you guys to help organize all of your destinations and places that you want to shoot. I want to show you guys really quickly is how to organize photos on Instagram, both for mini photo locations and destinations that you want to go to shoot at, but also just for general photo inspiration. I really like to use this technique. So I'll just show you guys quickly sort of what I have saved. I do save for certain destinations. So I have for Bali, you can see New Mexico. I also just save like general ones that I want to go if I see somewhere really cool but I don't have a trip planned there, and then I'll add it to my Excel doc later on. But you can see Rainbow Mountain in Peru is in here, the Wave in Arizona, and a bunch of other places that I would love to visit one day. And then I also photo inspo. So if I find pictures that I just think are really cool or inspiring, it can be nice if you're creating a shot list, or let's say you're going somewhere and you know like you're going to be using your drone, for example. I mean, look at this drone shot, like so inspirational, and it's so nice to be able to come in here if you're kind of in a creative slump and reference some really cool images that other people did, and then you can put your own creative spin on it. So I hope that that was helpful, and I will see you guys on the next one.